the anthem of Algeria, so you can be upstanding.
Of the day, and it is once again back to action. Cote d'Ivoire prepare to take on Algeria in what has been anticipated as one of the most unpredictable matches that the Rugby Africa Cup 2024 is set to deliver. Commentary country once again back on duty, Jermaine Egesa and the magnificent Ernest Akorebirunji joining me. Algeria have a formidable squad in here that they will ply forward with, including their captain Marvin Youssef, as well as that man that follows him there, Thomas Lacroix. It's going to be a very tall order for them as they match up against the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire, who will be looking to Diane Diallo as one of their talisman to pull off some major moves. But keep an eye out for shot 15, Amadou Traore.
Bienvenue à tous. Tubani Zamwena, welcome to Kampala, Uganda for the Rugby Africa Men's Cup. Of course, this is the most unpredictable game in our books. The Francophone Derby, underrated, but it can be such a firecracker.
You'll have to go about it hard. As always, Cote d'Ivoire in the very colorful orange with black patches or designs in there, as well as green trunks. While Algeria keep it, as always, all white with stripes on the sides there. So what are we looking out for here, Ernest?
These two, of course, North Africa versus West Africa. very well known for their physicality. Algeria have some big and tall men. Cote d'Ivoire are not short of giants on their own, so it's going to be an intense physical encounter. The pitch has already taken 2 matches. I'm sure it will hold for this, the third, but that's where the key battles are going to be, in the tight 8.
Quick start here as Algeria try to power their way past the defense here of Cote d'Ivoire, looking to quickly make their mark on the game. Quick securing of the rack in there. This is a good start. And a kick, looking to gain territory. Can they gain the ball and ground it? The ball just flops out.
They had the advantage there after the tackler did not roll away, and the fly half, knowing that he has a free hit at it, Enzo Kafa just goes for that cross kick, but it's not been accurate so far as we've seen in the tournament today, and they will go back for that penalty.
It's literally been a plague for many people getting those kicks in. It's almost impossible. Just wait to see if this will actually turn out any better. Chance here for Algeria. They'll attempt to surmount what many have found pretty difficult. Julian Sage Kaminati to make the attempt for this one. That's a pretty good area there. I don't think he'll miss it.
Just seconds on the clock. I think it should be easy peasy lemon squeezy for him.
A minute, 38 seconds on the clock. Never in doubt. They will take that with a plum. So it's already 3 to Algeria. And the Elephants find themselves trailing. They'll have to get themselves back in the lead.
They were caught unaware at kickoff. It's like they weren't ready. That kickoff from Algeria. Possession quickly turned over. Line out into the corner. The next time they were in the 22. They gave away a penalty. And now they're down by 3.
Most recent meetings between these two sides have both gone in favor of Algeria, and they've, well, given themselves a lively head start here. When they met in July 2018, coincidentally in Toulouse in France, it was Algeria that came out trumps, 23-13. That was in the Rugby Africa Silver Cup, back then as it was known in 2018. And then in 2014, a little farther back, still Algeria coming up on top. 25-18 was the score in favor of Algeria, or as they are known, the Lion Cubs. And strong inference there that puts his man to the ground as Algeria once again look to gain territory, crossing the 10-meter line, looking to make the kick. Chest for territory. Oh, slippery surface, is it? Or just not the right shoes choice?
I think just maybe he just missed the footing there, but this surface has been in pristine condition so far.
Ivory Coast, the only non-South African country that has featured at the Rugby World Cup. That time they were pulled against France, Scotland and Tonga. That was in 1995. And they were the runners-up in the Africa Silver Cup Tier 1B. That was in 2014 and 2017. Then won the Bronze Cup in Tier 1C in 2013. How they fare against the big dogs? Well, that question is getting answered right here, right now. Nice pickup. Looking to gain territory. Another big kick. Doing a lot of the kicking here.
I think the kicking game is very key, especially in such conditions with the wind. But, you know, you can only play rugby in the right places. And while some may find this kick tennis boring, it's where the strategy, where you get to see which team has been coached well, which team has gone through their drills well, because they are trying to get that advantage. And very soon with all these back and forth kicks, the spaces will begin to open up.
And just there, finding space, trying to turn the inside out alley, but caught well. Able to roll away, but they managed to secure possession. Adama Kamara.
And just like I was mentioning there, as you can see, Algeria had won the territory game in this kick tennis. Their first kick was just outside their 22, and you can see where the next penalty is inside the other half. Algeria have won this first of many small battles that we shall find in this Francophone derby.
More skirmishes heading our way. I must say this is one of those that really had me on the back foot yesterday. French having been a slight hindrance, if I might say. But these are two teams that will definitely understand each other's perceptions, especially with terms of communication and whatnot. But two very different outlooks to the game of rugby between these two.
You mentioned, and I find something very hilarious, that one of the things that I've mastered is how to say "Mon français est un peu pété." Just my French is not so good, but we can communicate. After all, the language that's going to be here at Namboole and Wankulukuk on Wednesday is rugby.
Algeria ranked 69 in the world. Ivory Coast, which is on the back foot at the moment, ranked 47. Interesting to see how they both turn up. Didn't have a lot of rugby last year, both of them, test rugby. But if you look at the year 2022, Algeria playing 3 games, winning 2 and losing 1. Ivory Coast, the reverse, playing 3 games, winning 1 and losing 2.
I think 2022 is one of the lowest days that African rugby has had. You know, having such a big tournament played outside the continent in France, it's such a milestone. I think it's such a fight back for African rugby to bring back this tournament to African soil. And as you can see, the crowds have shown up, the players have shown up. This is our tournament and we are owning it again.
Big kick there, and very much needed. And the call to concentration, quite evident. Algeria might have gotten themselves on the front foot at the moment, but the task at hand is one as prickly as a cactus. They'll need to keep their wits about them if they're to get any better at this one.
And I like how wide and diverse African rugby is. As we saw in the first game, it was more about the ball in the hands. Burkina Faso and Namibia. Kenya and Senegal was a physical game. This one might be more of that, but as you can see, the kicking is going to be very important for these two teams.
Brilliant offload, just holding the ball until the right moment and making sure that they secure just enough space. And the kick gains them quite some coverage of ground. Algeria have a record of 3 wins and 1 loss in their 4 meetings against West African countries. Faced Ivory Coast, or Cote d'Ivoire as it's known, twice, Senegal once and Ghana once. Ironically, their only loss came against Ghana. Where else? In the Pearl of Africa, Uganda at Chadondo Rugby Grounds.
I was there for that game, played behind closed doors, but it was such an upset that threw the qualification for next year's, for the following year's edition, open, because Algeria needed to beat the hosts Uganda the next match day to be able to progress to the real Rugby World Cup qualifier, and they showed character, Algeria. And since then, they've been a cause for concern to everyone that's participating in these competitions.
Well, right now, giving themselves a good fighting chance here, battling and sidestepping and making sure that actually do put themselves on the front foot. There was good play earlier on there from Negadou Nadir, one of their top scorers or top try scorers. That was top point scorer in the year 2022.
Sylvain, the Cote d'Ivoire team manager, we're yet to get a shot of the coaches in their technical area, about 2 levels of the ground. Can be lonely up there, but it has the best view of the entire playing field.
-24°C right here at the Mandela National Stadium. The sun has taken a momentary hiatus, cloud cover taking over, and that only means one thing: the winds of Namboole are back in equal play. I think it might be a thing about me and Ernest. Every time you step into the box and the winds decide to pull a move. Holding onto the ball. Solid. The referee there indicating someone diving in from Cote d'Ivoire.
Oh, that double blow is worrying for Cote d'Ivoire, and they are not likely to get away with it this time. Caught offside, playing the man on the quick restart, and now they are going to play the next 10 minutes with 14 men.
Dian Diallo is the man that is sent to the sin bin.
That's an infringement.
And
Penalty to Algeria.
exactly something that probably Cote d'Ivoire would have wanted at this particular point. Approaching 10 minutes of the game, and it's been a halting play. Now they are a man down. Ernest, what is the pattern of play here? Soldier on as is?
I mean, Algeria got points on the board within the first 2 minutes. There's an opportunity to continue to keep the scoreboard ticking. Usually the most important thing is to take maximum advantage of this power play. I would like to call it a power play when you have an advantage of the man. In the first minute, double your lead, and then now you have the possession on the next play, because Cote d'Ivoire, whether the ball goes in or not, they'll have to kick the ball back to Algeria. And now you can attack against a team that doesn't have one of their biggest men, the number 8, Dian Diallo, who just got sent to the sin bin.
Mohamed Abdelhamid Makri will attempt to go to the poles. Attempts. And the attempt is successful. Well, you call it right. A real power play there. And it does come well in favor here of Algeria. Precision, even with the slight breeze, not phased, and delivering a brilliant kick.
Yeah, he's got good kicking form, and the power, the direction, and the look in his eyes is meaning business here.
Ball goes over the line. Nadir just letting that run off. So 10 minutes it is. Algeria 6, Cote d'Ivoire 0. And Diallo here, not just sweating from exertions on the pitch, but also realizing that at the moment, he might just have put his team in a very, very precarious position to be.
I mean, Cote d'Ivoire is just these 2 minutes. They've come from the flampen, as we call it, on the streets into the fire. They got a yellow card, conceded points, and now their restart, which is supposed to go deep, they can defend from far away. They've put it straight into touch now. Algeria have a set piece. Halfway, they are going to attack on a split defense. And if we could get a shot of how their backs have formed, you can see exactly what is going to happen once they can choose a direction, the right or the left, for them to attack off this set piece.
I do dare say I'd fancy that they may take the left, but looks like it's the right, and a kick. And a quick chest, close the ball down. Now trying to use the blind side, playing shield and trying to take on more than 1 or 2 opponents. They do gain ground, but it looks like it's a loose ball in there.
I think he lost that ball forward.
Picked up well. Skipping one. Relinquishing possession. They still managed to pick up anybody's ball here. I don't fancy being in the referee's boots right now. This game is really chaotic. Looks calm on the surface. There's quite a lot going on behind the scenes.
These are the games you'd love to manage as a referee. These are the games I would love to provide a voice to, because rugby, let's be honest, what makes it exciting are those heavy collisions.
Good pick here from Algeria. We're really in the groove here.
Just a knock forward. Algeria were on the counter-attack. Cote d'Ivoire lucky that they have not been reduced to 13 men. But he had the hand out. Oh. Fine margins. They will take the scrum down, Cote d'Ivoire, but the pitch is beginning to take a beating. As you can see, the previous scrum, the turf has been kicked up by these heavy men. As we had said, the contest will be in this pack of 8.
Taking a moment here to prepare themselves to get back into that scrum. Heavy coming together there. Of course, they'll have to keep an eye out for Kaminati from Algeria. It's been a real thorn for many. Julian Sage Kaminati playing as the fullback. Nice pickup from the 8th man. And now looking to utilize the blind side. Brilliant release, and they have a chance here.
I think that was forward.
Or was it? The referee does agree with you, but that looked seamless there from Algeria.
It's the motion of the ball out of the hands. That's judged forward, but that ball, whether it was backwards out of the hands, it clearly sailed forward.
Just walking in, Cote d'Ivoire is in the orange and green with lots of things going on in the middle. Algeria in the white. New to the game, but maybe the soldier of the back. His hand signals will let you know what is falling. And what you're seeing now is falling round.
So a scrum it is. And Algeria will now have to line out their defense, looking to really keep it compact.
Yeah, the defensive strategy that they are shaping up is step forward and then drift outwards. You can call it how you'd peel a banana. You peel it down, then outwards. That's what the back line is doing, but clearly Cote d'Ivoire are choosing to play amongst the forwards, so they're going to bunch them up even more before now deploying the backs.
Getting in, battering ram here, eventually brought to the ground. Koulibaly attempting to make a move there. Hand off, and this could be the opening they were looking for. Can he take it all the way? Handing off the ball here to the fullback, and it is try time for Cote d'Ivoire.
Beautiful set piece.
Excellent, top notch. Just when Algeria took their eye off the game, waiting to punish them, Amadou Traore. But how was that for a handoff just in a nick of time? Just when you thought the engines had burnt out and it couldn't go any further, there was the fullback waiting to take the final ball. Look at that, a burst of pace right through the center. Right there and then, Algeria knew they had been outsmarted.
For sure, and this is what you want your team to do. The forwards have done the hard work. They started off the scrum down, they kept the ball first phase, second phase, and at that point you think there's going to be no go forward. But once the ball went out to the backs, like I had said, they bunched up the defense, and then the spaces opened up on the outside. Beautiful support line from Amadou Traore, and under the uprights he went.
Well, he's the one that started them. Ooh, takes too long. What happened there? Looks like he took forever to get his conversion done. So they end up missing points.
You have 60 seconds after the try has been scored to take your conversion, and I think he ran out of time.
Emmanuel Hoto took too long there. He was the one that instigated that move going forward and set up the fullback, and in the end, taking too much time. And you have to give a lot of credit there to Algeria for being tactical, keeping a close eye on the watch, and knowing that the time was done, and the referee just, well,
Actually,
Cote d'Ivoire.
I think on second look, I think he got charged down, because the laws say once you take any movement after making your layup for the ball, any movement, then the team that is defending can charge down the ball.
All right.
That's why he just ball, and there was no opportunity to take the conversion.
Well, giving up a chance to take the lead in this game, but having reduced the deficit to just 1 point. Diallo is still in the sin bin. Memory serves right, he should be almost out now. Looking at the clock, should be maybe just a couple of minutes before he's back in. It promised to be unpredictable, and it's living up to the billing.
For sure.
Hope you enjoyed the game. Thank you for coming out in big numbers. You are Namboole.
There's that crocodile roll that's been outlawed for safety concerns. Once you lay all your weight on the juggler's knees, it can cause some very, very painful and dangerous career-threatening injuries. Good safety call from our center referee here.
Not a place you want to be. The ball rolls out.
Is looking pristine, guys. Or TV are saying, as you give it Nigeria an
Tight contest in there. Algeria still have possession, trying to utilize muscle. Ivory Coast looking to match them toe to toe. It's real carnage. This is a demolition derby ongoing there.
He's been held up at the back of that rolling maul. Good defense from Cote d'Ivoire. carried them over the line. That's very smart defending. And they will have a goal line dropout.
The Elephants find themselves once again in possession, but question is, what would be the best idea to actually carry on and execute going forward? Long ball, good pick up here. The Lion Cubs racing forward. Good check of strength there. Nadia still managed to retain possession. Sending it forward here, looking to roll in Abdel Hamid Makri. Looks to be a bit of a dispute on whose possession it should be.
Good for us. Maybe the halfback is trying to milk a penalty out of that contest.
Well, Sinbin is done and Diallo's back into the pitch, so once again the numerical advantage has been decimated and it's back to equal terms.
Yeah, both teams have put some points on the board in this power play, but it's Cote d'Ivoire who have done the better job in those 10 minutes of the Sinbin.
Well, there's going to be a penalty here. Algeria getting to have a hint of desperation, should I say?
This is how Algeria always play. They play non-stop and relentless rugby. Their big men know how to move.
In enemy territory, Cote d'Ivoire, the Elephants, unpredictable bounce of the ball once again coming to play, and that ball finds loose hands, allowing the Lion Cubs now to make the advance. Algeria trying to get his way through, dazzles one, dazzles two, still looking to carry on, finding space. But is it ample time? Do they have just enough within the tanks? Getting a little careless here, did not secure that ball well enough. Finally they do, battering out in there, and as they normally say in the rugby circles, exchanging pleasantries. A kick, looking to pick on the far end. Can they ground it?
Oh, beautiful try.
They are celebrating and it will count for a try. So try for Algeria, their first try of the game.
They did it the hard way, Algeria. Defended, attacked on that loose counter-attack ball, went to the outside edge, carried a few phases on the inside, and once the ball came back to the backs, that cross kick there, pinpoint accuracy, goes to the man at the wing.
Enzo Zaitri just grounding that and making sure that that will definitely count in the bag. But we did talk about the opposite number, his namesake, Enzo Krafter, and just the intelligence that he had to know that in this instance, don't dilly-dally, just go straight out there and with a very accurate kick to Moot. Free kick. Well, interesting when you bring football analogies into this. A chance for a conversion here, Algeria lining up their kick. Ivory Coast not looking to charge that down or contest it whatsoever. The kick comes in, looks good, and is actually converted. Algeria adding points on the scoreboard. It's 13-5, and the Lion Cubs are looking to maul their way to the very top of the pride here. If Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire were to lose here, well, honest, I do dare say, many might think it could happen, but it would still qualify as an upset.
Yeah, for sure, but Julien Sage is kicking so beautifully. He has answered all the calls that have been given to him off the kicking teeth. 3 out of 3 so far. And Algeria are slowly but steadily probing away against Cote d'Ivoire.
Well, there was a knock-on there by Algeria, and that will allow the Elephants once again a chance to get inch closer. 20 minutes, but you can hardly feel a second gone. This is end-to-end action. Both teams giving as good as they get. The latest to land the gauntlet being Algeria. Now, what can Ivory Coast have in return? They'll start off here with a scrum. Quite evenly matched here in strength. None can move each other. As a result, now they'll have to make other ways to make roads in territory. Switch up. Ooh, fumbled the ball there. Poor communication from Cote d'Ivoire. Big kick once again. Enzo. It's easily picked up here. Amadou Traore will return favor. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this time it looks like the referee, well, must have noticed something.
It's called for the mark. The kick tennis, like we mentioned, is going to be very key for both teams to play in the right areas, to maintain possession in the right areas. But I think at this point, Julien Sage realizes that the whole of his team is far ahead, close to halfway, and he's in his 22 alone. If he kicks that ball with no chest, there would be no one at the back to cover that territory. He catches that ball in one sweep, puts it into touch, and it's going to be a line out. They lose the ball, but they gain the territory advantage that he would have loved if he had taken that in open play. So still a good call from the fullback.
Cote d'Ivoire, no need to panic just as yet. Nonetheless, that won't negate the fact that the sooner they get their name on the scoreboard, the better for them, as Algeria look to sweep in once again, and this time will find stiff opposition in Nakanabo Ismail. There's a hold up here, brought down. Ooh, looking awkward on top of his head. Not a place you would want to be, I guarantee.
Yeah, you allowed one extra movement after hitting the deck, but there's that the tackler rolled away quickly, and that contest on the floor made it difficult for him to turn properly. That's how he ended up on his backside, I should say, but he ends up losing the ball forward just there.
Pretty harsh call, you would say, but well, the laws of the game have to be upheld right down to the T. A little brief discussion there for the Ivorians. Have to figure out what exactly their set play should be at the moment. The clock definitely has them on the scoreboard, has them on a deficit.
Welcome, my friend.
Fullback has actually been quite mercurial. Julian Sage Kaminati.
Standards of Uganda Rugby, Sanjay has seen this from the grassroots to where we are raising it to the next level as the teams get ready for the scrum.
So down to the scrum. Task once again falling to Adama Kamara to feed to that scrum. These two teams have had very even contests going in. Every time we've gone into that scrum there, it's been a real tall order. Anyone getting an inch. Butterfingers losing the ball, but they still manage to retain possession. A good step, good release. Feinting that pass, sending in a good dummy. just gains them a couple of meters off the center line or the halfway line, and now trying to break free, still retaining possession, bulldozing their way past the 10-meter line. Ultimately brought down. Diallo putting in a decent shift here as they get the ball rolling through. Setting it away. Well, the debris and players falling and going to the ground and getting back up and has become the order of the day. True mark of a game that's evenly contested. In the moment, the Elephants looking to use their muscle to smother their way closer and closer that 22-meter line.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Excellent handoff and maintains possession. Takes a chance to wave, and it's a try. But how was that for retaining grip of the ball? Ouattara Mamadou with something truly unmatched goal-wise. That was top-notch. That's purely exceptional.
It's like he had glue in his hands, but Diallo, coming off the bench, had to do all the hard work to pay back the 10 minutes he spent in the bin, and leading that charge with his fellow forwards. They punched the same point, and then the gates opened for Cote d'Ivoire. It works once the ball got into their hands. There was no response for Algeria, as they had all been stuck in the defense. Quick ball handling, and then look at those steps. Beautiful try.
Took a moment there to be very cheeky about it, knowing the try was definitely secured. But there was the moment, the skip, then racing in. And this time, making no mistake there, especially with his movement. Amadou Traore making the conversion. So once again, back to a place we were a couple of minutes ago. 1 point margin here. Algeria 13, Cote d'Ivoire 12. Game on. Algeria will now look to retaliate in similar vein. They get the ball rolling in. Was available, tight pickup in here. Squeezing it back, trying to utilize the blind side. Again, unpredictability, but there looked to have been a bump out there to a player who didn't have the ball. I don't know if the referee did spot that. If we have the benefit of the replay, maybe we might be able to see what exactly happened there. It's a penalty awarded here to Algeria.
That's for offside, I think, at the breakdown. The referee is saying Algeria need to pick up the pace. But Caminati is going for another shot at goal. He's so far slotted 3 kicks between the uprights.
Still quite a bit of a discussion here on how matters will go, but we all know Julien Sargi will definitely be the man to step up to this. He's been impressive so far.
Yeah, but this time he has to make sure he takes the kick quickly. He has 90 seconds to put that ball off the tee.
Well, as we get inch closer and closer to that 4 p.m. kickoff, the stadium picking up in decibels of sound. And once again, Julien Sargi Caminati's boot dispatches well and notches points on. One thing you can definitely say is I think he's been the most impressive kicker just as yet.
Only just as yet. But we'll be here for 10 days. I think we'll see the kickers get their bearings correct, getting their power correct, and we'll begin to see some brave calls kicking from maybe halfway. I'd love to see some of those.
Going down. Algeria secure possession, quick fashion. There's a quick run there to fall back to defend from Ismail Nakanabo, and proved to be a wise decision, as at the moment they have numbers and Nakanabo seems to be the man that has to hold. Was quick sprint here of Algeria. Kaminati with the kick. Algeria now forced back to the back foot. Adama Kamara making that kick that time, and now carrying the ball forward and trying to race his way in, offloading that well to Adrian Pierre Vret. Lacroix gets it through. Samir Kabush.
They're playing with the advantage. And I think the referee will have a word to say to the Cote d'Ivoire team. He's looking for his captain.
Having someone calls the captain.
Discussion very brief, very precise, succinct, and it's a yellow card. Second time that Cote d'Ivoire in the first half have a man sent to the sin bin. This time, Omar Simbiri is the man that heads down to the dressing room.
I think that was from the referee's signal. Unfortunately, we were not able to get the referee's audio, but it was a safety call is indicating that Omar Simbiri made a tip tackle in the previous phase of play. So Cote d'Ivoire again will have a sin bin. Algeria will have the power play, and they get to choose where they can resume play from.
They knock that out into touch in a very, very, very interesting place. They're literally inches away here from the try line. So the defensive prowess of Cote d'Ivoire has got to be put to the test once again. The Lion Cubs look to be coming out mauling this time, bearing close and bearing down hard. Another try here just might be what the doctor recommends, but
Not straight.
wasn't a straight line in.
So is that judge not to be fair?
From that angle, it was very easy to see that
Down to Cote d'Ivoire.
the ball was thrown biased towards the left of the mark.
And so once again, it will be a test of strength before strategy checks in, as the two teams will huddle in once again into a scrum. In the meantime, still plenty of space in case you're making your way to the Mandela National Stadium. I can see the stands, well, looking packed, but as they always say in Africa, there's always space for one more.
Yeah, for sure. And it's that welcoming attitude that is well known even here in Uganda, that
Especially here in Uganda.
let's all fit, we can all fit. So just one more.
As our neighbors in Kenya would say, karibuni sana, karibuni. Algeria now have a chance once again as Ivory Coast falls short with that scrum. Look at the numbers, the sheer numbers that they're piling in, and looks like penalty it is.
Yeah, it's the Cote d'Ivoire front row just standing up in that scrum. When you're feeling that pressure, when it's 8 men against 8 pushing, when it's fair contest, when all the 8 are pushing and everyone is pushing straight, it can stay balanced. But once one gets the advantage over the other, maybe you've lifted your foot, or maybe, just maybe, Algeria have a heavier pack, that pressure comes in hard, and the front row have no choice but to stand up and give away a penalty.
Well, the hosts have just made their way into the Mandela National Stadium. Ahead of their game, they'll definitely be getting in for a quick warm-up set there before they take on Zimbabwe. That game kicks off at exactly 4 p.m. and will be right here, available for you. The Afro Mobile app on NBS Sport, continuing champion Ugandan sports, and of course, as well on Kawowo on the YouTube link.
We've ensured that all the bases are covered here in Uganda. in Africa and the rest of the world. If you're not able to make it here, Namboole, you're able to watch the games from wherever you are.
There you go. That is the very, very well-awaited Uganda Rugby Cranes, who have been in bullish form ever since they certified that they are hosts. Their compatriots, the Sevens, are the reigning champions of the Sevens. Can Uganda make it 2 to the good? And it is halftime here in this particular matchup here in this Francophone affair, and it's Algeria that has the lead against Cote d'Ivoire and have been the team that has been more clinical and quite adept to the circumstances and scenarios that are right around them. Close margin, only 4 points separate the two teams, and as they head down the tunnel, it's halftime. Algeria 16, Cote d'Ivoire 12.
So we have a plenty, and every time you pass by a special tip, pick a drink, you can also hydrate from a lot of reserve, the water is available, and I also saw a little bit of minute, so there's a lot. Yeah, using the Momo Pay app, however, you get 35% discount off your drinks and off your allocations. DJ Rodmeyer, half-time entertainment, Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire. Sunshine rise, anything for your sacrifice. Katika maisha yangu unanichoma kama fire. My feelings multiply, stick on me like a tattoo. Who is someone that will do? Cultivate, penetrate, kita muna mulse kuna wetu. Situla omakwano, belete munyenye no wezi, reggaeton, reggaeton, chakala muna mulse kuna wetu. Nothing go to us a party, who pass our party, yeah, nothing, they will leave, who pass our party,
unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Have to find a way to impose themselves in this game, because Algeria have clearly been heads and shoulders above them, despite having their flaws as well. 16-12 is the count as it stands. Jermaine Agassa here in the commentary gantry, and joining me, as always, Ernest Akorebirungi, doing the good work of the game.
For those that do not get the context, is that when you translate my name to English, it means that God does good things, and He's doing good things here for us in Uganda as we get to host the Rugby Africa Men's Cup for 2024, and we will be back next year for the one which will matter the most, a ticket to the Rugby World Cup 2027 in Australia.
Well, when you made mention of a ticket, I was about to say tickets are on sale. I was going to say, oh wow, that would be quick.
They still are.
No, for next year. And talk about being quick, Algeria trying to start off out of the blocks faster. It's intense, but quick. Close down here from the Elephants, trampling everything that is right in front of them, and ultimately managing to get that long kick, teasing the kick. Ultimately, that is going to draw the referee's attention.
Yeah, he chose to commit and take the contact, but it came in too hot for him, and he threw that ball forward. This is the amount of intensity, the level of rugby that we're at, the top of African rugby. And when you take a look at these two teams, both backlines, nearly all of them were at the Africa Men's Sevens in Mauritius. So that's how much rugby they are playing, and that's how good they are, that they're able to come back and represent their teams both in Sevens rugby, the short and entertaining Cote, and in this test rugby, the one the purists say is the only one that matters.
Well, ironically, it might be something that I did say to you a couple of days ago. This is quickly becoming an exclusive club, right from the sevens to the test rugby. It's the same teams, it's similar patterns of play, and, well, you get to enjoy more and more. They are the creme de la creme, but also that means it's a very small company to be in, and that means it's easy to figure out who does what, how.
I think in African rugby, it's the saying that those who have will be added more, and those who do not have, the little they have will be taken away, couldn't be more true. Because, I mean, Namibia, they may not be very active in sevens, but they are the exception to the rule. When you look at Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe, who are all here, and now Burkina Faso is joining the party, Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire. We saw Senegal earlier as well. So those are the teams that are at the top, but there's some space for those outside the top to maybe close that gap with the Rugby Africa repechage, through which Burkina Faso came to play at this tournament.
And then later on, of course, the hosts will take on Zimbabwe. Normally the hosts would take to the pitch first, but hey, this is Uganda. Who would we be if we don't let the guests have the first bite of the cherry and then save the best for the last, huh? I'll see you.
For sure, and the 4 p.m. kickoff is the usual kickoff in Ugandan rugby, so they will be playing in conditions they're used to. Unfortunately, they won't have much of a home ground advantage because they've not trained here. All the 8 teams, their first time on this stuff was during their captain's runs yesterday.
This is the first time they're having a competitive go about it. That looks like a high tackle, but referee lets it carry. Butterfingers releasing the ball, and Algeria looking to be quick to snap. The agility of the Cubs here is so commendable, given just how they're carrying gameplay on.
I think he won't survive that yellow card.
Oof. That would be the 3rd in one game.
It was a double blow of the whistle. The center referee is a lenient man. If any of his assistants, Talen Gandiwa from Zimbabwe and Gonzaga Mayanja from Uganda, were at the center, I know they are very quick to touch their pockets and send the man to the bin.
44 minutes, early start here. In the meantime, if you're still making your way to the Mandela National Stadium, you might want to download the Afro Mobile app from your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store so you can carry the game with you on your way here, in which you'd roughly have about 1 hour and 5 minutes to the kickoff, to make it in time for the kickoff of Uganda-Zimbabwe. Alternatively, if YouTube is your flavor of the month, then Kawowo got you covered there. You would definitely catch the game. Alternatively, if you're one who is still a skeptic and thinks the Rains are waiting for the grand moment to make their entrance, well then NBS Sport is your channel of choice to get all the action unfiltered and direct to your living room.
Again, Cote d'Ivoire penalized at the scrum. They're feeling the pressure from that big front row, and of course the tight five. It's going through them and it's forcing the front row to stand up, giving away a second scrum penalty in similar territory, but on different ends of the halftime break.
Very smart play here from Algeria, constantly giving Cote d'Ivoire something to think about and not really play proactive football, but rather having them constantly having to react to whatever they're feeding them. It's a very smart ploy, but you also have to have a slice of luck to be the one that dictates the terms of play.
Yeah, it's what people say about the scrums. You can have the upper hand, but it needs to look so good. You need to look like you have the upper hand in the referee's eyes for you to get the call. Sometimes the best you will get is a restart when clearly you've been the team with the advantage, but now the advantage is clearly in the referee's eyes to Algeria, and he is rewarding them for their efforts.
We'll talk about really psyching up and warming up and getting the body ready to go, raring to go. The sin bin. Well, last I heard, you're supposed to sit it out, but looks like he's pressing it out. It's Algeria inch closer to the try line. Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire mounting a wall of defense here, and looks like possession might be lost. Struggling to retain that. Ultimately picked out, recycled, and could be a chance here for a try. Try it is.
I think the
ultimately touchdown by Megador Nadir.
I think they will need to take a second look at that. The ball appeared to have been lost forward, and you can see the captain Enzo, or rather Alexandre Pilati, is trying to make his case known to the referee. That ball, in my view, we'll take a second look at it, was lost forward in contact, popped up on the side of Cote d'Ivoire, and it was wrestled away from their hands. Algeria had numbers aplenty on the outside, and they scored that try.
Ultimately just going on, but a couple of seconds earlier than that, that's where that incident seemed to have occurred. In the end, Algeria taking advantage as given unto them and utilizing it to give themselves an extra cushion here. 21-12 it stands, short of the conversion. Caminati, his boot has been imperious today. Will he yet again add more to his tally? Doesn't look like this time will strike gold. Cote d'Ivoire having this really running away from them. They need to do something to stain the flow. Otherwise, at the moment, they look like they're hemorrhaging badly.
About 10 minutes in, that means in 30 minutes from the big one, and we'll be asking for you that the pressure increase about this. Yes.
Restart is on. Algeria respond. Chance to build from back. Looking to set the dummy. That's a high tackle. That's a high tackle.
It's the second time he's doing that.
The height of the tackle.
Fares Volcanfet.
Algeria not back the full 10 meters.
The technical term for it is, call it a seatbelt tackle. You're wrapping your hands around the shoulder and under the armpit.
It's been a tight game so far, but
on one side it's legal, on the other side it's not. And
they changed that. The Ivory Coast.
At one of the rugby grounds in Uganda, it is also known as, whoever delivers it is known as a member of the suicide squad. Ball picked up well. Cote d'Ivoire trying to carry the ball up front. Pilati. So good, was named twice. Alexander Pilati. The ball is cleared away. Algeria looking to get themselves forward. Well, the referee now calls for play back for Algeria.
Yeah, they had that advantage. They kicked the ball away. Pilati ran across the entire defense and attack, and in trying to put one of his big men into space, throws the ball that's a little bit too high and it's lost forward. Algeria choose to kick away the advantage, but as the free play that they have, they will resume with the scrum down.
Well, changes there being rigged up here and notes being taken. But in the background, even more interestingly, in the VVIP stands, it looks like it's lunchtime, so a couple of people enjoying themselves. Now, this is one of the basketball teams in the nation, JT Jaguars, making their appearance here for rugby. Basketball is currently on recess, or league basketball is currently on recess as the Gazelles, that's the ladies' national basketball team, is in Germany. But right after this weekend, right after the Rugby Africa Cup is done, well, it will be the playoffs for them and business, and it will be for them.
They've shown support to the Uganda Rugby Cranes. I saw a video led by their captain, Jenna Sinde, showing support to the national team, and rugby is one of those national teams that have shown support to their fellow national teams, cricket, basketball, football as well, and it's good to see that, let me call it, patriotism coming through when all these different disciplines are on national duty.
I'm not so sure I'd use the word patriotism, because yes, that is what it is, but every time rugby steps somewhere, good vibes always follow them, and they tend to turn the crowd up, which is exactly what all other teams tend to enjoy from the rugby team. So probably paying back in measure. We'll see just how much noise the JT Jaguars will deliver when the game gets underway and Uganda Rugby Cranes are on the pitch. But in the meantime, action here, still much on the front here for Cote d'Ivoire to find a way to respond. Algeria have thrown the gauntlet down, and the response hasn't been as emphatic as many would have anticipated. So big question on what happens next. Look at that tight line. And plenty of disbelief here from Algeria's technical team. Diallo brought to the ground, losing possession, loose hands. Chance here, trying to battle forward, exchanging pleasantries, but no way through. Adrenaline drives him forward, but drives him straight into the hands of Cote d'Ivoire. Well, someone says they were quickly checking out each other how the menu in Uganda has been. Brought down, good pickup, instant release. Looking to race out on the open side, but support a little slow at coming. Was he slow at release? That move breaks down. Algeria once again will look to find a way to surge past the 10-meter line. Finding little luck and constantly being pushed back. This is quite admirable from Cote d'Ivoire. Brought down. Looking to carry, quick recycle. Adrien Pierre Vet finding it pretty difficult to break through. And then the dummy there from Lacroix. Ultimately releasing the ball, heading it all the way back here. One of the substitutes here, Thierry Alexis, gets the ball through, trying to race their way up front. Gabriel Bilhaj finding a little difficult to negotiate past the Elephants. Still possession for the Lion Cubs, surging forward, and that will definitely be the end of that. Looked very promising and surging very close, inch by inch, past the 22-meter line. Fortunately, the unpredictable nature of that ball and the handling, that is human to all, coming to play against the Lion Cubs.
Rugby is such an interesting sport. You have to pass the ball backwards, but still manage to find a way to move forwards. But Algeria, how many backdoor moves can you run in the same sequence of play? I think they move the ball right, left, but not using their front line of attack. And those men that are running those blocking lines are what have created that space, that distance between the defense and the attack to allow the ball carriers to advance forward. Unfortunately, the ball handling is not the best once they went into that red zone, but they've inched closer to the Cote d'Ivoire try area, and the objective for Cote d'Ivoire in possession of the ball now is to get out of this zone and begin to play in the Cote d'Ivoire half, in the Algeria half.
Cote d'Ivoire have not done themselves their plenty favors with their discipline.
21-12 score on the scoreboard there.
And they are looking to add an extra score.
Looks like one of the players here for Cote d'Ivoire does require some that magic spray to the knee. If I'm not mistaken, that should be Diallo. Himself in quite a bit of discomfort, but about to throw on the big man, Bekadad Youssef. Looks like he'll be set to come on in just a bit, as well as Jawal Ikwaba Atia set to come on. Shot 17 and shot 18 will now take their place up front. These are two behemoths that are definitely bound to bring bags of muscle up front.
Algeria have some big boys and big men on that team. Look at that front row man walking. I wouldn't want to get face to face with that in the rugby field.
Precisely my point. And that's why I tend to think rugby is a bit unfair. How would you expect me to stay in front of him when he's charging at me?
It's a game of all sizes. But at the top, at the very top of the game, sometimes the size, the height, the weight can come with a very, very good advantage against your opposition.
Well, into the scrum, trying to gain advantage there. The referee signaling that, well, not quite according to the rules of the game. So Cote d'Ivoire have themselves a penalty in trying to rush things.
Algeria, I mean, you're in a good position at this point. You're inside their 22. You're defending the scrum. Just apply a little bit of pressure, force them to kick it into touch, and you'll have the possession. But they give away a scrum penalty, and then they hamper the quick restart. They lose another 10 meters. The ensuing penalty kick for touch is a possession for Cote d'Ivoire, and it's those little things that can, in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking back at points where the game could have maybe turned around, it can be such situations. But Cote d'Ivoire will still need to make their possession count.
Holding in, nice layoff. Oh, in my mind, looked like a nice layoff, but Ernest here in the commentary gantry was already demonstrating that's a forward pass, and the referee agrees with him. So back again, back to it.
Ball went 5 meters, but that was let's call it a through pass, which, according to the laws of the game of rugby, is not a legal passage of play.
Boom! Impact heavy. Somehow must stand up and carry on with the game. It's Algeria uncharacteristic with their passing this time, and they hand the ball away. Initiative given, but losing out there. Would have been a brilliant play to retaliate in same vein. Looks like there'll be a substitution here. Set to have a substitution. Cote d'Ivoire will now throw on Ousmane Coulibaly. Doesn't look like Diallo Diane. Is it Diallo Diane that steps off? We'll wait for confirmation of the gentleman that's set to get off there. Earlier on had his knee buckling under him.
It's a big unit.
And Ahmed Diarra is the man that steps off the pitch, cannot continue. Algeria choose to go for the kick. Referee's whistle going in the equal instance. Once again, Cote d'Ivoire a little too enthusiastic for their own good.
They need to maintain their composure, Cote d'Ivoire. They've given away some precious points. Sadly, they shouldn't have handed away the one possession, but they are barely able to keep it for longer than a minute.
coach killers, they call those things.
But this is what we were looking forward to. I think I must admit, Jermaine, that I was looking forward to seeing kickers making the bold calls. And this is the first of many that I hope to see. Julien Sage has called for the kicking team from behind the halfway line. 55 meters or so.
Well, it's going to take something pretty spectacular for him to nail it from that distance. Can he pull it off? Next the kick, Julien. Close, and he nails it!
Let's go!
Supremely confident in his abilities, Julien Saji Caminati does what many have dared not attempt at all, and now gives Algeria a 24-12 lead. Well, Cameroon, sorry, that is, would be Cote d'Ivoire, do have themselves staring down the barrel. But how was that for precision?
I think that's so brave, that's bold. And that's what we want to see. That's what we'd love to see at this level of rugby. I mean, going for the bold calls, saying, I would like to announce my arrival, I would like to announce my presence at this Rugby Africa Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, he's here. Julien Saji Caminati is in the house and is making noise with that boot. Some point, I really thought that ball just might not be able to cross the line, just might not be able to get there, but he just had the delicate balance of managing to move everything just right, right composure, right measure, just ticking all the boxes. Pressure is on here now for Cote d'Ivoire, and time to rig changes here for the technical bench. What would happen here for you, Ernest, if you're on the technical bench? What happens?
I think Cote d'Ivoire need to get the ball on their hands more. Once they get comfortable with the ball in their hands, then they will begin to play. We've seen them play. The tries they've scored in the first half have shown that they have something when they have the ball in hand. But so far in the second half, they've been giving it away too easily and too quickly, and Algeria are enjoying that possession.
Well, players on the ground, I think, from that aftermath of the kick, but looks like he will get back up and carry on with play. Woo. That could have caused controversy there.
Came off the crossbar.
Now Algeria going right through the center of the park. And Cote d'Ivoire caught napping there for a moment, did not understand what was hitting them.
It's a good contest from Cote d'Ivoire. They are trying to play. They're giving Algeria a run for their money. They're ensuring that every breakdown they're there, they put men and shoulders in to contest for the ball.
Well, trying to play it smart. In the end, Cote d'Ivoire are now trying to hurry all plays.
I think someone's going to the bin there for Algeria, trying to stop a quick restart, quick line out. He was inside the 5-meter territory, and nothing for any man. You know, your team is on the pump, the momentum is beginning to shift. This is what they would call a team foul. You take it for the team, because you know if you do not do it, you're most likely going to concede. But now the rest of the men you've left, for whom you've taken the bullet, they will need to play with a man down.
Well, very bold play there from Mohamed Abdel Hamid Makri, who's sent to the sin bin. Numerical advantage now with the Elephants, and they seem to have the win in their cells in a very good position. Will they fancy the kick, or will they attempt to go for territory? Nudged out, it will be territory. Chance for a line out here.
This game, we'll listen to both captains and the man of the match. We'd like again to say a big thank you to our partners.
Line out it is.
MTN Momo giving us a payment platform and
started off quick here, and Cote d'Ivoire have possession here. It looks like it's a tight squeeze, ultimately having to release the ball, relinquished, and looking for a kick and chest. Bounce, tipped away. That was just a nick of time. Could have easily gone very, very differently, but good kick it was. In the meantime, well, big worries here and discontent from Cote d'Ivoire's team manager.
I think the referee there indicated that it was going to be a goal line dropout for Algeria. They knocked the ball back into touch. Says goal line dropout. Algeria expect at best a scrum. But you can take a look at that again. He puts his hand up in trying to regather, knocks it into touch. We'll need to check my law book to see whether that should be a scrum for Cote d'Ivoire and right to be frustrated their coach, or the referee got it spot on with that goal line dropout for the restart.
It was intelligent play there from Alexander Pilati. Attempting to play that, and once again they'll have to deploy the boot of Julian Serge Caminati as there's a substitution that's ushered in here, and chance here to get onto the game. Diomande Boris is the man that's brought into the fray. To borrow football term, squeaky bum time it is for Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, the clock is slowly ticking away towards full time, and they have 2 tries that they need to score to be able to come back in this contest.
Well, they could make a decent measure by covering grounds here, getting out of their 10-meter area. Oof, Butterfingers still held here by Alexander Pilati. Pilati dummies one way, then gets onto the run here, opening up space right down the center. They have a chance. Big hits will now be delivered right through the center of the park. Holding on to the ball, swinging well. That's a forward pass. That's a, sorry, that was a knock-on.
Yeah, they had the advantage for the high tackle. But Pilati is standing up for his team in that number 10 jersey. He's the playmaker. He's been doing well, putting his teammates into space, but he has had his moments where he's decided to do it alone.
Raising my game, raise your game wherever you are.
You would have to say at the moment, if only his teammates would match 3/4 his ambition and what he's putting into play, Cote d'Ivoire would probably have this in the bag for themselves. Brief discussions here ongoing. Austin picked up once again to looking for Pilati.
That signal means free kick.
Hardly happening for them as they would please, and the clock is speeding away like a runaway train. Once again, Algeria have the chance to dictate play. They'll appeal to the boot of Caminati.
Would like to welcome
Knock-on advantage against Cote d'Ivoire. No contest there, but he misjudged the flight of the ball.
Trying to look for the handoff. Gabriel looking to sprout wings on that flank. Just couldn't get his way done, and at the end of the day they have to switch up play right back through the center, looking to utilize the physical advantage. Alexis Thierry, rare, beautiful handling of the ball, Alexis Thierry, that he does have. Shot 23.
He's a big man with deceptive size. You'd think he is a forward, but he's a very good playmaker.
Pretty agile. Just looking at the way that he hands off that ball with ease, with finesse and real flair.
That's Pilati trying to get as much advantage as he can with ball in hand, but the referee had said time off, as we see the Uganda Rugby Union president welcoming his family to Namboole.
Well, if anyone is allowed the sleep of the justified today, he will be one of them. Walked in early here in a suit and has spent half the day in a t-shirt. That should tell you just how much activity has been going on in the background. And, well, he's a hands-on man. He's not going to sit back and let the team do the job alone. He'll get stuck in. Well, I think it's a habit, force of habit from his rugby playing days.
Yeah, for sure. And he's started from the bottom. Now he's
right here.
Rugby. He's a team manager, he's a secretary at the union. Now he's the president, and it's
2 terms.
This is his final term, and what a way to mark his tenure by having the Rugby Africa Cup back on African soil.
Another of the impossible done once again. Algeria teased it earlier on, and they do it with skill and with style. Alexis Thierry dispatching that off with some emphatic passion. 27 points on the board now for Algeria, and 2 of those have come from some very exquisite play.
Look at Kaminati.
Kaminati is a force to reckon with.
A drop goal from, I think, what, 60 meters away in open play? Not sure if that language is allowed, but he's got big harness.
60 meters.
Goodness. Talk about putting on a masterclass exhibition. That's when the goal I got this. So 27 Algeria, 12 Cote d'Ivoire it stands. Fair to say, the body can be pronounced dead before it hits the ground now.
Yeah. Just one man, Julien, is putting it out of reach of the entire team.
Well, I think there's not going to be a huge debate on the man of the match.
Unless maybe you could expect a miracle of a performance from any other player, but I think Julien Serge Kaminati has really done enough to earn that award.
A plague to take home, place on his mantle, commemorate one of those days when his boot was in imperious and unforgiving form. Cote d'Ivoire still not giving up the fight, will not relinquish, will not bow down, still taking the hits and still trying to figure out how to gain territory. Ooh, dangerous place to be here for Cote d'Ivoire. Maurice Diomande finding himself with a little more than he could bite off. Actually, Sharif Kone finding himself with a little bit more than he could chew off. Right there.
Could be the smallest man in the entire tournament.
Yeah. Finds himself mauled by some behemoths here.
But you know, such players who you would think they are in the wrong place can be quite a surprise package.
Well, there's one that you'll need to watch out for in the next game. Happens to stand as the vice captain of Uganda, and many say probably the biggest player of mind games and dark arts on the pitch.
They say a small man is not a boy, and Sharif Kone
is not a boy.
Standing up amongst the men. But he will have 10 minutes to turn the tide for Cote d'Ivoire.
Well, instructions raging in and raining in here from the technical bench of Cote d'Ivoire. Can they come up with something? Can they whip up something? Will they put a foot forward? Precious little time. Maybe now a question of halving the deficit.
Having the deficit might not be enough, because the winner continues to the cup semi-finals. The one that loses the game goes into the placement games, and they need to stay up there. The team who have been to the World Cup, so them coming back to the top of rugby should not be a once-off. They should be able to stay at the top, but as it stands right now, they are second best in this context.
Chance here to break away, shoot, tackle. The pass ultimately thwarted there. Osmane Coulibaly had the wind taken out of his sail. Oh, an instance there where all of a sudden Cote d'Ivoire thought they had the upper hand. Talk about a last gasp tackle. It paid dividends for them. Well, a little too eager, probably giving away the tactic there. Substitution here for Algeria.
It's all 8 men in the line out. And still they are going for the same move. Referee says, until I say my time is on. But they have to change the call now. They've run that same move twice and they've been stopped by the referee. Let's see what they opt for now.
Looking pretty frustrated here with how things are proceeding out. It's pretty obvious that that would be the play now. Algeria just knew where to wait and pounce they did. Bigger possession, chance to swing it out, tail end of the game right now. Should be down to the final 8 minutes or so. Good play from Gabriel. Once again looking to surge forward. He might have taken a hit there, could be concussed, but
he's taken a hit to the head.
Seems to be in a bit of pain. He has seemed dazed, but wants to continue. Talking about going out on his own terms.
I think that needs to be looked at by the tournament doctors. Any knock on the head needs to be checked, and with the HIA protocols as was announced to be available, I think it needs to be taken.
Battering their way through and inching closer. Can Algeria put one more? Ay, 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 ay. Belhaji Gabriel lurking in the shadows, making the run. And once again, Caminati's boot almost found him. It's been pretty impressive from Algeria.
They've won this contest fair.
Getting correction there was actually the boot of Enzo Ralfa that tried to find the man in the picture here, Belhaj Gabriel.
These two already know if the score stays as is, perhaps maybe Cote d'Ivoire have run out of time to put up a comeback. Algeria will be progressing to face Kenya in the semi-final. Cote d'Ivoire have dropped the placement games where they will be taking on another West African francophone country, Senegal. Perhaps now you're looking at, if you're Cote d'Ivoire, looking at getting prepared for the next match that's going to be against Senegal. So Algeria, on the other hand, they know it's going to get tougher as they continue to move upwards. Facing Kenya, Kenya have won this competition before. Kenya, they finished second in the last edition of the Rugby Africa Cup, and we'll be looking to upstage Namibia, so it can't get any tougher, it can't get steeper, the climb to the top of African rugby for Algeria in this context.
We're getting it back again and trying to race it off. Good handoff, and this time Gabriel Belhaj will not be denied. Try time it is for Algeria. And well over the 30 mark point. They're definitely putting the work here. 32-12 it stands now. It's been one of those tries that's just been pending and knocking. It was a question of when rather than if. And they do manage to nail and notch it in. Quick recycling of the ball, not holding on too long. Paris letting him fly. And a try it is. Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, deflated, depleted, defeated.
Sums up their tournament. Just one game, Cote d'Ivoire have, I should say, disintegrated. It was 16-12 at halftime. They've not had a sniff at Algeria's try line. And since then, they've leaked the same amount of points in the second half. You could say Algeria have engaged another gear and are looking forward to a cup semi-final tie against Kenya.
Kaminati, well, finally proving he's human after all. It seems to find that a little disappointing. Seems a little jaded with himself that he didn't get that railed in as he would have wanted.
He kicks interesting. It's like he's a footballer. He kicks with the inside of his foot. Kaminati, just inside of the foot. Number of rugby players kick with the top of the foot because the ball is pointed straight. So all you have to do is strike it. But Kaminati looks to
not one of that
it
breed. Yeah.
Through, and he's been doing well so far.
Wait for the next one, the big one. Or is it the biggest one? Uganda, the hosts.
28 minutes away from that clash between Uganda and Zimbabwe.
Will be lost there. Playing for a semi-final slot, playing against Namibia. It is over. Congratulations, Algeria.
Well, there won't be much more to play out for this, and for Cote d'Ivoire, they have to bow out this stage. As Algeria putting on a pure masterclass, and no questions on who will be the man of the match. Julian Saji Kaminati putting in a formidable show. At the end of the day, you can only applaud just how much they have brought to the game. Full time, it's Algeria 32, Cote d'Ivoire 12, and let's head down straight to our pitchside announcer and reporter, Desire Drekford Mugumisa, who's standing by to give us the lay of the land from the fray.
And the man of the match, DJ Rodmeyer.
All right, it is full-time down here. Algeria getting to come out on top, 32-12 down here at the Mandela National Stadium. Shortly, we shall be talking to the that is.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched